Welcome to the Akashic Library.
Today we're diving into the 7 universal laws that are said to, well, create our reality. It's a pretty mind-blowing idea, right? The thought that if you've ever felt like life was just happening to you, you might actually be holding the remote control the whole time. So, let's get into it.
So let's just start with this question right here. Think about your life, right now. Do you feel like you're the main character, just kind of reacting to whatever scene pops up next? Or are you the director? Are you the one calling the shots, deciding what happens?
And that's the big shift we're going to talk about today. Because understanding these 7 laws is really about moving from that feeling of things happening to you to the powerful realization that life is actually happening through you. It's about finally stepping into that director's chair for good.
Okay, so where does all this start? It all begins right up here, in your mind. The first few laws we're going to look at all deal with our internal world, which is basically the control room for, well, everything else.
The very first one, the foundation for all the others, is the law of mentalism. And it's super simple, but so profound. Your thoughts are things. They're not just these little invisible puffs of air. Nope, they are actual, tangible things with energy and the power to shape your life.
I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Imagine your mind is the projector in a movie theater. All your thoughts, your beliefs, your daydreams, that's the film running through it. And your life out there in the world, that's the movie playing on the big screen.
Which means if you don't like the movie you're watching, the circumstances in your job, your relationships, whatever, it does absolutely no good to shout at the screen, right? To change the movie, you have to go back to the source. You've got to change the film that's in the projector. You have to start with your inner world.
And this leads us perfectly into the next law, the law of correspondence. You've probably heard this phrase before. As within, so without. It's this ancient idea that your outer world is always a direct mirror of your inner world.
So it's a really clear link. On the one hand, you've got what's happening inside, your state of mind, your consciousness, your general mood. And on the other hand, you have the results you see in your life, your health, your bank account, your friendships. This law says those two things will always match up, no exceptions.
So, why? Why do they match? Well, the answer lies in the law of vibration. This law says that at its core, nothing is really solid. Everything in the entire universe, from your couch to your own thoughts, is just pure energy, all vibrating at its own unique frequency. And here's where the magic happens. This idea of vibration is really the engine behind what most people call the law of attraction. Like attracts like. Your emotional state, your vibe, is constantly sending out a signal, and it naturally pulls in people and situations that are vibrating on that exact same frequency.
Okay, so we've got it. Everything starts on the inside. But what about the outside world? How do we deal with all the ups and downs of life once our thoughts are out there? Well, that's what this next group of laws is all about.
First up, we have the law of polarity. This one's pretty straightforward. Everything in the universe has an equal and opposite. You've got hot and cold, light and dark, good and bad. You literally can't have one without the other. They're just two sides of the same coin.
Now here's how this becomes a superpower. When you're facing a problem, this law suggests that every single challenge already contains the seed of its own solution. The problem and the solution are just two poles of the exact same thing, which also means the bigger the problem you're facing, the bigger the solution that's waiting inside it.
Next up is the law of rhythm. Think about it. The tides go in and out, the seasons change, the stock market goes up and down. Our lives work the exact same way. Energy naturally rises and falls. There are going to be high points and there are going to be low points. It's just the natural rhythm of the universe.
So the trick isn't to fight the low points. You can't. The smart move is to use them on purpose. Those down cycles are the perfect time to rest, to go inward and really think, and to come up with new plans. Basically planting the seeds that will sprout during the next upswing.
And that brings us to a really big one, the law of cause and effect. This law doesn't mess around. It says that every single effect, every single result you see in your life has a very specific cause that you can trace. In this worldview, there's no such thing as luck or chance. It's a simple 2-step dance. Step 1 is the cause. That's your actions, your thoughts, the energy you put out into the world. And then step 2 is the effect, the results that will always come back to you. The two are permanently linked. So, you want a different result? You have to start by changing what you're putting out there.
Okay, we've covered the inner world of our minds and the outer rhythms of the universe. But how do we actually connect the two?
How do you take an idea from inside your head and make it a real thing you can touch? That's where our final law comes into play. This is the law of gender. Now, let's be super clear. This has absolutely nothing to do with being a man or a woman. It's about two fundamental types of energy that exist in everything. There's a receptive, creative, feminine energy and an active, projective, masculine energy. And for anything to be created, you need both.
Think of it like this. The feminine energy is all the inner work. It's the daydreaming, the imagining, the planning. But you can't just dream something into existence, right? You also need the masculine energy of taking action out in the real world. You need both the inner vision and the outer action to make something real.
So when you start to see how all 7 of these laws work together, something really profound starts to happen. You begin a journey from feeling like a victim of your life to becoming the conscious creator of it.
And this is really the bottom line. Whether you know about these laws or not, they're working. You are always 24/7 creating the reality you experience with your thoughts, your vibe, your actions. The only real question is, are you doing it on autopilot or are you going to grab the steering wheel?
This is what it all boils down to. The victim mentality is just the belief that life happens to you, that you're just a pinball getting bounced around by forces outside your control. But the creator mentality, that's the understanding that life is happening through you, that you are the one shaping your reality from the inside out.
So we'll end right here, back with a question. Once you have the instruction manual, once you know the laws that govern creation, you're not playing the game in the dark anymore. The question is no longer, oh no, what's going to happen to me? It becomes something so much more powerful. Now that you know the rules, what reality are you going to create?
These 7 laws shape every experience you have. Master them and reality bends to your will. Next, discover a simple solution to any challenge in A Trick to Solve Problems.